What's up, everybody? It is Lee Shishin K9 training with a focus healing session training video with my 2-year-old working line German Shepherd, Frito Z TAMMIK. And in this video, we're only going to be focusing on focus healing, and I'm going to start most of the healing routines off with what you just seen me do right there, which is firing him up and getting him to bark, asking him, is he ready to work? My trainer explained that, by firing him up like that, it'll keep him in a higher state of drive as we're healing. That way, if he's low on energy, I can fire him up and ask him if he's ready to work. He starts barking, and that'll keep him in a higher state of drive. Or if I have to give a correction, whether it's by prong or e-collar, because he does have an e-collar on, if I ask him if he's ready to work while we're healing, that'll keep him in a higher state of drive, of course. And if you will notice in this video, we aren't starting in basic position because he has some head positioning issues. My trainer suggested that, we break basic position and the actual healing positions into two parts. We train it into two parts. So some days I'll work basic position exclusively, and other days, like in this video, I'll work only healing. So towards the end of this video, because the person recording is my wife, but towards the end of the video, we're going to use her as a judge. I should have started off, that way, but we do it towards the end. But we'll greet her just as we would greet a judge in the actual session trial, and tell the judge what we're reporting in for, whether it's, a BH or an IGP title. But as we're healing, sometimes you'll see me go for longer strides or shorter strides. Is to keep the dog guessing. And for the first half of the video, I was, putting the ball under my armpit, but he actually can heal without the ball under my armpit. But we just made our way into healing without, the ball under the armpit. So I wanted to just reinforce his head being up at the beginning of the video. And now I can remove the ball since I reinforced it in the beginning of the video. And right now we're in basic position. We healed and we stopped in basic position. And I'm just reinforcing his head being up by rubbing on his head and stuff like that. Because, as I mentioned, because I screwed up his foundation when he was a puppy, this is my first working dog and I'm learning a lot. But I did screw up his foundation as a puppy, so he struggles with keeping his head up. And I believe right here, as we get ready to stop, okay, I might be wrong. I believe as we get ready to stop, we're going to stop in basic position, but he stopped off to the side. Yep. Wait. Okay, wait, no, that's not that part, but that part is coming up. But yeah, sometimes we'll go for long strides, short strides. Sometimes we'll stop in basic position. It's all really to keep the dog guessing. That way he doesn't know when the reward can come. And I will say, ever since my trainer recommended that I ask him if he's ready to work and fire him up before we start healing, that has definitely made a difference in his energy, because he doesn't have any issues taking corrections, but sometimes I feel like he just doesn't transition back over to the routine pretty good after receiving the correction. And, it doesn't mean that he can't take corrections good. Every dog is different. It's just that, certain things that work for other dogs might not work for your dog, and certain things that work for your dog might not work for other dogs. And I find that firing him up like this actually helps him heal a lot better. And just speaking of healing, he is forging a bit, but the reason why I'm not using a stick or anything like that no more is because he became he started showing stick avoidance, and it's mainly because, like my trainer said, we were using the stick way too long. And you get to a point where you have to end up fading all of these tools, fade the ball under the armpit, fade the ball under the shoulder, maybe fade the healing stick. And, I guess maybe I had it too much tapping under his chin a lot. So that's why I don't use it no more. Right now, my trainer just recommended if he forges a bit, instead maybe use my hand to actually get him back, which I do tend to do it in training sessions. I just haven't done it in this actual video. So and this is, this video won't be too long or anything like that. I just wanted to get a video of us healing on the channel and showing some of the stuff we're working on, and which is, this foosing video, and me firing him up before foosing. And as I said, I feel like that has made a huge difference in, keeping him motivated while we're working. And right now we transitioned over to the jog, And you know, my trainer had told me that my transitions need to be more seamless as we go to the jog, to the slow pace walking, and back to the normal pace walking, because if they're not seamless enough, it'll throw the dog off. And as my trainer explained pretty well, you know, shushing is like a dance. You know, when you're healing with your dog and you're having them do all of these commands and stuff like that, it's like a dance routine. So anyways, right here, I believe we're about to do our little greeting, where my wife acts as if she's the judge, and we go and we greet her, and we say we're reporting in. So this first time we greet her, and then the second time we're going to greet her and actually foos off as if we were actually doing an actual trial. So right here, we've been working a lot on this. He used to want to look at the person that we would be greeting. He used to want to do that a lot. But obviously, as I just said, we worked a lot on this, and he's a lot better with keeping his head up, which is what you want the dog to do. You don't want the dog looking at the judge or anything like that. So we're going to do one more judge greeting simulation, and then this video is about to come to an end. So we fire him up before we go, and we greet my wife, which, as I said before, she's, you know, obviously simulating a judge. And, you know, my trainer told me something that I didn't know because I haven't tried a dog yet, but the judges don't like to be crowded because they don't want to feel like that the dog might bite them. So I have my wife step over to me a little bit. We do a couple of, you know, hand gesture greetings. And from there, we're going to foos away. So I bring the e-collar out for this part just in case he gets a little bit loose as we foos off. But he actually didn't, so he did good. But anyways, guys, that is the end of this video, and I will catch you guys later.